blood, sweat, and a dark oppressive past. The Philippines and Romania are two nations grappling with shocking similarities. With slippery economic and infrastructure rankings, Romania and the Philippines might just be a spinning relationship that has more in common than you would have previously thought. How, you might be wondering? Well, join us as we uncover the fascinating secrets shared between Romania and the Philippines, and the similarities that just might blindside you. Imagine the map of the world. You'll see that Romania and the Philippines are on the opposite ends, with almost a distance of 10,000 kilometers between them. So it's highly unlikely that there would be a deep, substantial relation between them and their history, right? Well, no. With a past holding horrid tales of occupation, Romania and the Philippines are amongst some of the nations that can safely say that their journey to democracy was one wild ride. Their lands have a rich history dating back thousands of years. Even before the time of wars and democracy, humans were living a unique life in those lands. How, you may ask? Well, the remains of 34,950-year-old modern humans discovered in present-day Romania show the earliest signs of Homo sapiens dwelling on the Earth. The remains were found in 2002 in the Peștera cu Oase, which is translated to cave with bones. These Romanian fossils are among the oldest remains in Europe. That's not all, though. The Philippines has a good history fossilized between the Earth's crust as well. Scientists discovered fossils of a species they call Homo luzonensis in a cave on the island of Luzon in the Philippines. Representing a previously unknown branch of humanity, the remains reveal a tiny variety of humans that lived as recently as 50,000 to 67,000 years ago. The lands of Romania and the Philippines surely hold secrets of early civilizations that were previously unknown. However, human fossils aren't the only thing buried between those lands. Decades of war and their aftermath have left memories of unfinished stories hidden beneath the surface as well. Several regime changes, occupations, and martial laws later, we now see the present-day Romania and the Philippines. Their past goes all the way back to ancient times, around 2000 BCE to 106 CE, when indigenous populations inhabited the lands. In the Philippines, right around the 1000 BCE mark, we saw the rise of the people practicing animism, which is the belief that every object holds some form of spiritual essence. Along with that, the indigenous people of the Philippines were practicing local forms of governance as a way to retain order. That order proved to be quite successful as various trade networks bordering nations like China and others in Southeast Asia were established. You might be wondering what was going on in Romania during these times. Well, picture an old Romania, and now visualize hordes of tribes settling in. These tribes thrived on warrior culture and used it as a way to safeguard their legacy. That's how the Dacian civilization came to be. However, it wasn't long before the time loop of conquering and relinquishing land began. You see, in 106 CE, Dacia was conquered by the Roman Empire and ended up becoming a Roman province. Now, picture a man named Ferdinand Magellan sailing into the old-age Philippines in 1521 with ambitious plans. That man is responsible for changing the trajectory of that land's fate by marking the start of Spanish exploration and colonization. The subsequent years followed a predictable pattern of fighting for control, freedom, and power. Just the sheer amount of resistance movements is enough to give you an idea of what they went through. Just imagine the Dacian resistance against Roman conquest that happened way back in the 1st century CE. It resulted in a lot of devastation to the land and the people. Additionally, the Romanian peasant uprising in 1907 paved the way for similar anti-communist resistance movements during the Soviet occupation during the 1940s and 1950s. Following Romania's lead, the Philippines saw the Katipunan and Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonization from 1896 to 1898. That was in line with the previous Hakbolahap rebellion against Japanese occupation and post-war governments during the 1940s and 1950s. Even today, the Moro insurgency from Mindanao, originating from the 1970s, is present. The circumstances surrounding their independence came as a result of different sources, but their struggle remained the same. Even during the World Wars, Romania and the Philippines ended up fighting on the same side for the most part. When Romania entered World War I in 1916, the Philippines were included just a year later as well. Of course, the Filipino soldiers had no say at that time, since they were considered a territory of the United States, not an independent nation. While in World War II, Romania did end up siding with Nazi Germany for a little while before ending up supporting the Allies at the end, where the Philippines was still serving as a territory of the United States and was involved as a result of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. After a phase of dictatorship and mismanagement, Romania finally transitioned to democracy during the 1990s and is still building the nation under the new ideology today. As for the Philippines, despite gaining their independence in 1946, they struggled a lot in the following years with dictatorships, martial laws, and social-political issues. The two nations share a plethora of similarities in their journey, and that's reflected in their infrastructure as well. Infrastructure is a clever and subtle portrayal of a country's general state, a language with which a country translates its growth. When it comes to infrastructure in the Philippines, results have been varied. On one hand, the Philippines has been successful in constructing iconic infrastructure, such as the Manila Hotel in 1912, which became the country's first five-star hotel. Then we have the San Juanico Bridge, built in 1973, which is the longest steel bridge. Last but not least, the Cebu-Cordova Link Expressway, which is the largest railway bridge in the Philippines, graced the construction scene and popularized the area even more. However, the results of the struggle between the powers in the country can be seen in the stunted growth in new infrastructure developments. Consistently getting the last few spots in surveys analyzing the infrastructure growth of the country, it seems as if the development in this regard in the Philippines has come to a temporary standstill. Similarly, Romania has a lot of places that hold pride in the realms of construction, such as the Palace of the Parliament in Bucharest, built in 1984, which is the second largest administrative building in the world. Similarly, Peles Castle, which was built in 1883, became a masterpiece of neo-Renaissance architecture with history of kings and queens residing there during summer. Finally, Bran Castle was built in the 14th century and is now commonly known as Dracula's Castle. The infamous Dracula's Castle, which now stands as a tourist attraction, has become a subject of a lot of speculation. Comment down your theories about the place below. However, infrastructure is still under heavy development in Romania, as it still needs a lot of upgrades, especially in the transportation department. Both countries, although not quite where they need to be yet, have shown tremendous growth in construction given the resources they have, although the resources do tend to fluctuate along with the economy. No other measurement fits the concept of fluctuation better than the economy. As for the economy of Romania, well, it's been seeing some highs and lows. Romania has shown quiet resilience in the economic growth department with a 4.6% increase in GDP in 2022. However, 2023 saw a fall amidst the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Things don't seem too bad for this European country though, as it's expected to make promising and steady growth in the future years. As for the Philippines, it's been proven to be one of the most dynamic economies in the Pacific region. In 1950, the recorded per capita income of $1,070, just 11% of the United States level, placed the Philippines in the middle of the list containing its Asian neighbors. However, by 1996, with a recorded per capita income of $1,334.11, the Philippines managed to slide to the bottom of the group. Now, in 2024, the Philippines holds the gross domestic product per capita rank of 124th overall and a 113th rank in purchasing power parity. From 1950 to 1966, despite its neighbors improving, the per capita income for the Philippines fell from 1/7 to 1/10 respectively. Moreover, over the past 3 decades, the Philippines has brought in less than 1% of per capita GDP growth, which seems even worse when compared to its neighbors. Despite that, there's optimism on the cards for the Philippines. It's showing better economic development as time goes on, much like Romania. With the ongoing health and inflation crisis, these countries have managed to hold their own with a promising future. On paper, Romania and the Philippines might differ a lot, but their relationship goes beyond the diplomatic ties between their embassies, as shown by their infrastructure, economy, and history. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share, comment, and subscribe for more.